Oh,
Good
good.
morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi, welcome,
Hi.
welcome. Happy to have you here with us. For those of you who are joining, it'd be great if you popped into the chat. The chat button's at the bottom of the screen and said hi and tell us like who you are and all of that good stuff, where you're dialing in from. And by the way, at the bottom of your chat, make sure that your button says to everyone so that all of us can see it. And Melinda, thank you, Melinda, from going first. We appreciate that, from Washington. Hey, welcome, welcome, everybody. We're going to get
And
started here in a few minutes.
make sure to check in the chat. Love it. Oh, hi, everyone. Make sure to check in the chat where it says to. Make sure it says everyone. It may say hosts and panelists, in which case you might just be yelling into the void. So make sure to change that to everyone, and then we can all see it.
Hey, everybody. Great to see you from so many different places. I love it. We always get thrilled seeing where everybody's from. And occasionally we have people that are from Europe that join us. Even I think we've had some people from Africa, which is really, really cool. A special shout out to Johnny Romero. Hey, Johnny, talk about being from Europe.
Hi,
It's really
Adam.
cool. Hey, Adam.
Hi, Lisa.
And Lisa, you are saying hi to host and panelists. So we're going to get started here in just a minute. Just want to give everybody a chance to kind of jump on, say hi, tell us where you're from, and then we'll get going because you're in for a real treat today. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Buckle up, roll a real roller coaster ride.
Joe from South Florida. I hope you don't have heat and humidity right now. So welcome. I'm going to just give a minute more because we still have people joining and Charles from Spain, or Charles from Spain. Awesome, Charles. Really, really great to have you here.
I almost just said bonjour.
Virginia is saying 100 in Arizona. Yes, I think Jesse can relate to that.
That's like par for the course for Arizona, though.
Yeah,
right?
100's not too bad.
Yeah.
But it is only 10 o'clock in the morning. So.
Okay. I forgot about that.
So let's go ahead and get started because we have so much we want to cover today. Again, welcome to our June virtual meetup. My name is Rachel McCool, and I'm going to be your host today. And we're just really happy to have you here. Again, we're going to kick off with a fun poll. So Jesse, if you can put that up really quick. We like to just get you guys going. A lot of you have already been in the chat, which is so awesome. We really appreciate that. So take the fun poll. And I think I just accidentally hit the wrong button. Sorry. But anyways, we're going to have some fun today. And just tell you a little bit about myself. For those of you who don't know me, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. I've been with GoDaddy for about 6.5 years, and I run a bunch of different community experiences, our LinkedIn group, different programs, and these virtual meetups that we bring you every month. So I'm here with Jesse and Elena from GoDaddy. And I'm first going to ask Elena to introduce herself, and then Jesse, and Jesse's going to go over some housekeeping tips. And then I also want to shout out to Tina and Jayla from GoDaddy, who are also here with us and will be helping with the chat. So Elena, go for it.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Elena. I am based out of Austin, Texas. I saw someone in the chat also is in Austin, so shout out to you. I've been with GoDaddy for 4 years, and I work with Rachel and Jesse on our community experiences and events team to help bring events like this virtual meetup and all our other ones to you guys.
Awesome. Jesse?
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and click share results just so you can all see the results of our poll.
Wow,
this is how polls will start working. We've got 76% of people are for dogs and 24% for cats, and nobody said other or none of the above, so that's good. So welcome everybody. My name is Jesse Wilson. I've been with GoDaddy since 2009. I work on the community management team and do fun things like this. I live in Arizona with my wife and 2 children. One of them is a teenager and one of them is a toddler. So, pray for me if you do that kind of thing. And So just want to go over a couple things with this platform. If you haven't been on Zoom webinars before, or perhaps if you haven't, just have been a while, there might be some features that you're not familiar with. So the first thing that I want to point out is the chat, which we've all talked about already. We want to make sure that you use that to communicate with each other. Again, if you could switch the to everyone so that you can talk to your fellow participants or your attendees and get to know each other that way. If you need to send a message just to us, you can do it that way through the chat that way as well. And then there's also so by that you'll see a Q&A button. That's where you're going to put any questions that you have during the presentation. Jonathan's going to share. Just if something comes up and you have questions about the presentation and the material, go ahead and put your questions there. We don't have a way to move your question from the chat to Q&A, and that is where we're going to pull questions from. So if you have a question that you want answered, please put it there. And then next, one thing I I wanted to point out to you is that you should see a button for the transcript. This is like an accessibility setting. So if you want to click on that, you get to see subtitles of our talk. You can also see the full transcript, which will give you a running timestamps and who said what. There's also settings there that you can change the size of the subtitles and also other accessibility features that you can turn on and off. So that's the platform. Oh, one last thing, we'll send out at the end of this. You'll be prompted to take a survey. Please do that, and we'll also send it out with our follow-up email with the material because we are recording this and we will share it out at that time. So you'll get prompted for that survey. Feel free to fill that out. One last thing is that you may see a checkbox if you leave the meeting, or it shows up in other places too that says feedback. Just know that that is for Zoom, because this is the webinars on Zoom, not for GoDaddy. So if you want to check that box, that doesn't come to us, that just goes to Zoom, just so you know. And that's it. So I'll turn it back over to Rachel.
Thank you, thank you. So before we get started with Jonathan's presentation, I just want to make sure that you know about our fantastic LinkedIn GoDaddy Community Small Business Group. There's several of our members here today. So it's a great place for you guys to join and just share and connect. And then 3 weeks out of the month, we actually have meetings where we hear small business success stories and we talk about your successes and challenges. And it's just a really, really great group. So if you haven't joined yet, Tina's going to pop the link into the chat. We'd love to have you join. Okay, so our goal for these meetups is to bring you great topics and presenters with practical information and tips for your business. So today we're going to talk about TikTok deep dive, establishing yourself on emerging platforms. And I am so thrilled that we're going to hear from one of my absolute favorite people at GoDaddy, Jonathan Graziano. And I've known Jonathan now for several years, and I've had the privilege of working really closely with him in the past 2 years. He's truly one of the best, and he has a tremendous amount of social media experience and a great story to share. So you're in for a real treat today. So listen carefully and think about questions for Jonathan as he's talking, because we're gonna have time at the end to take questions, and I guarantee you that you're going to learn a lot. So let's get started. Jonathan's going to present for around 25-30 minutes, and then we'll take as many questions as we can get before the top of the hour. So Jonathan, please go ahead and get started.
Well, thank you so much, Rachel. It is equally as much of a privilege working for you, and it's very exciting to be on the other side of this. I've attended many of these events, and I've been in the chat, and now to be able to present is really exciting, and I'm so grateful to all of you who are here today. So my name is Jonathan Graziano, and today we're going to be talking about TikTok. We're going to be talking about TikTok as a platform, TikTok strategy, and ways to establish yourself there. Quick caveat is I am a GoDaddy employee. I've been working here. My 4-year anniversary is coming up in a month. Almost, we're just like 1 day shy of 1 month. This presentation is specifically about my personal strategy with TikTok on all of the things that we've done on that platform. So just something to keep in mind. All right, so let's get started. So first thing we're going to cover is we're going to do a quick little synopsis of what we are going to cover during this. So the first thing that we're going to look at is social media. Also, real quick, I'm going to have my chat down in this little corner here because I do want to be able to keep an eye on what people are saying. So I might just be pulling that up every now and then. Forgive me if that's a little distracting, but I'd love to see what you say. There are some interactive moments in this that I simply won't miss. So some of the things we're going to cover is we're going to go over social media best practices, just anything that you can use across any social media platform, whether it's TikTok or Instagram, just some things to keep in mind. Then we're going to dive right into TikTok strategies. We're going to talk resources and tips because I have found that no matter what venture you're going on, whether it's starting a new social media page or starting a new business, you need help to do it. And then we're going to make some time for a Q&A. So please ask your questions. I love talking. I just set a timer because brevity is not a gift of mine, but I'm very excited to have the opportunity to chat with you and answer some questions at the end. So to kick it off, let's talk a little bit about me. So my name is Jonathan Graziano. I'm a Rochester, New York native, and I currently live in New York City. I have approximately 10 years of social media marketing experience. Out of college, where I graduated with my marketing communications degree, I went to school in Boston, which I love, my favorite city in the world. If anyone's watching from Boston, you are very lucky to be there. I started my career at an agency. I started at a place called VaynerMedia, where I worked under someone named Gary Vaynerchuk, who I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. Then I moved on and I worked social media at a startup. I worked for a company called BarkBox, which I'm sure a lot of you are also familiar with. And for the past four some odd years, I've been doing social strategy for GoDaddy. So I've been very privileged to be able to work startup, agency, and corporate. And there's a lot that's different about all of those, but there are certain things about social that are just true no matter what you're doing or where you are. And I'm really excited to share that with you. I say we because I go hand in hand with my sweet geriatric pug Noodle. We have stumbled into some significant TikTok success over the past 10 months, which is still wild to be talking about. We have a little series that we do called Bones or No Bones, where I will check in the morning. I will see if he has bones, if he's ready to start his day. So he'll be lying in his bed, I'll be ready for work and I'll sit him up. And if he supports himself, it's a bones day and you've got to go and, be productive and do the thing you've been putting off and treat yourself. And if it's a no bones day, if he flops down into his bed, you can take it easy. Don't worry about canceling plans. It's all good. And somehow, some way, we have reached a lot of people and we're still going. We just posted one this morning for anyone wanting. It is a super bones day. Noodle not only had bones, but he got out of the bed. So it's a great day to go to participate in a webinar like this. So across TikTok, my own personal channels and Noodle's Instagram, we have about 4.8, close to 5 million reach across TikTok and Instagram and Twitter, which is it's very strange position to be in, but I do feel like I have a pretty good idea of what to do if you were to get into this place. And I learned through a lot of trial and error. So there's a lot of my social media experience that went way out the window because there's no special sauce to this, but there are certainly some strategies you can implement to try and maintain the things that you've built and continue to grow. And then the last thing I want to let you know is I'm super excited to be here. I've had a wild week. Noodle and I actually just had a children's book come out. We just had a children's book come out last week. Lisa, I'm so glad one of the people viewing today, Lisa Stambaugh, who's a part of our community. I am so glad that your grandson loves his Noodles on the No Bones Day book. It has been, there was never a time in my life where Jonathan Graziano, published children's author, was on the bingo card, but it's a real testament to TikTok. It's a real testament to the power of TikTok because there are so many social media platforms out there, but TikTok is very special right now. Oh, I see, Pat, I see you grew up with pugs. I know you guys can see my screen, so you very well may see me ask if you can see my scroll when I move. So we're fully transparent. This is a very community-driven presentation, but pug people, you are my people. So we had a little children's book come out, and it's been incredibly exciting to see how all of this has grown and how this TikTok account has turned into something so much bigger than what I intended. And there are ways that as you build a TikTok account or as you put yourself out there on TikTok, there are strategies that you can use to not only build a community, but to help make sure that these people are really engaged and they're really on your side. And we're going to get into that right now. So the first thing we're going to cover is social media best practices. So I love this because I have I'm a very I have a lot of opinions on how I think things can be done correctly and how I think things can be done wrong. And social media is also a tough space because it's so visible, right? Like social media is open 24 hours a day, whether you're watching it or not. And it's really important to keep a few things in mind if you establish yourself on a platform. So the first thing you've got to keep in mind is to be present. And I included a picture of Noodle here because I didn't know what other graphic to use. And he's just so sweet. And I thought he's just so sweet. And I wanted him to look at his sweet little ear. He's just adorable. So the very first thing I want you all to keep in mind when you're launching on any social media platform, whether it is TikTok or Instagram, it is a digital storefront. No, whether you are selling a product or you're selling an idea or you're selling education, whatever you might be selling on the platform, it is open 24 hours a day. So you want to make sure that you've posted content that you can stand by. You've got to make sure that you're posting content that is something that if you are just visiting your page for the first time, I want to be able to look at your grid or look at your content and know what I'm in store for. That is really, really important if you're building a brand on TikTok. Another thing is inclusivity. As I know, this is something that's been a real boon of the times, is I feel like inclusivity and thoughtfulness on social has become a much more important and necessary part of any business strategy or social strategy. So for example, the fact that this presentation alone offers automated captions. I talk a lot and my diction isn't always the best, so I can imagine that it's skipping a couple words. But like, for example, TikTok has an auto caption feature. Before you post any video on TikTok, you can automatically add captions to it. You would be shocked at how necessary that has become over the past few years, not only because of the necessity to be inclusive to people who might be hard of hearing, or they might have some kind of issue with volume or whatever, but even just knowing how many people do not watch social media with sound on. They do not watch these videos with sound on. So having your captions is a great way to capture someone regardless of how they're viewing your content. Another one that I try and keep in mind is if you're going to go let them know, if you've posted on your social media account for a few months and you've built a bit of a following, and then all of a sudden you go dark, you just stop posting, or you've decided, the website is really where I want to invest my time. We have a great community over there. That's where I'm going to go. That's totally your prerogative. But if you have an Instagram or a Twitter or something like that you have made it a point to talk about your business on, and you are no longer doing that, that's going to send a message to someone. That's going to send a message where if they're looking up your business and they see you've gone dark on Instagram, they might think, are they still operating? Am I going to be able to get customer service if I need it? So just post a little something that lets them know you're going to take a break. Like on Noodle's TikTok, we do this. The bones or no bones is something we do on a daily basis. So we had people, on the edge of their seats trying to figure out how their day was going to go. And I needed to take a little bit of a mental health break at the beginning of this year. So I posted a video and just let people know we're coming back, but we're taking a little break, so that if anyone ever got confused or they wanted to know what was going on with us, they could always refer back to a video where I provided context about what was happening. It's incredible when you think about being able to build a connection and a community with people, and it's just respectful to keep them posted on where you are. Like it's transactional in the way that is just, if I'm providing value to you, we're just providing value to each other. And that is such an important thing to keep in mind when you are active on social. And then finally, the last thing that you've got to keep in mind for this one is to check hashtags and trends. Hashtags are very popular on social. They're very valuable on social to put on posts, to help your posts get seen by other people, but you have to know the context of the hashtag before you use it. This is something I learned working under Gary, but this is one of my favorite things that he's ever said. It was written on a wall when I walked in. It was, content is king, context is God. And that is something that I always keep in my back pocket before I post anything, because this trending hashtag might be really, really popular and there might be a lot of eyeballs on it. But if the context of that hashtag is not appropriate to my brand, it's not worth capitalizing on. There are a lot of examples of this. If you were to, I don't want to drag any brands on this. So if you just Google hashtag why I stayed Twitter debacle, and you will understand what I'm talking about. The next thing you got to keep in mind is to provide content with value. Before you post anything, ask yourself, who does this serve? Who does this content serve? Because if it's just you, right? If you're posting an Instagram and if you're posting, you know, a post on TikTok or Instagram and it just says, here's a new product of mine, please go buy it. That's kind of just serving you, right? That's kind of just serving you. You want to be able to provide people with value. I always ask myself, if I'm posting a post that is, you know, trying to sell something or is a brand partnership, my first rule that I go into any client meeting with is I need to make sure this video is something that someone who has no idea what this product is will still find it entertaining. Because my thing is entertainment. Like TikTok skews very young. And I had a partnership with a hotel company one time. And they were like, do you want to get Noodle a small bathrobe and stay in a 5-star hotel and post about it? I was like, absolutely, I will do that. But TikTok skews very young. Like 14-year-olds are not looking to buy a 5-star hotel experience in New York City. At least when I was 14, that was not my experience. So I wanted to make sure that this video I posted was still something that was accessible to them. Because if they can still find value in it, it's so much less of an ad and it's so much more of something that you can stand behind, which I think is really important to keep in mind. Another great strategy, and I think this is something that you've just got to do, is to define 3 to 4 different content buckets that are relevant to your goals as a company, as a brand, as an individual, whatever it is you're trying to do. So if you are trying to, you know, if you've got a finance company, which I think would be very valuable on TikTok, because financial literacy, my dad was a legacy planner for 40 years. Financial literacy is at a loss. People need to know what's going on. So if you have a finance business, you could distribute your buckets. One could be education, right? Where you could just post things that people need to know. You could post something about actual tax season. So if tax season is coming around, or if something big is happening in the news, like for example, everything happening with the stock market right now, there's a lot of people who don't know what that means. And if you have that knowledge, you could share that. A whole bucket could be dedicated to trending topics. And then people would know, I'm going to go check out what this guy has to say, because I can't read one of these articles anymore. Like everyone's saying 100 different things. I trust this person and I want to make it a point to learn from them. And then what that does is it builds trust. It builds so much trust. So I'd say pick 3 to 4 buckets relevant to your goals, hone in on that when you're producing content. Stay consistent. That kind of goes in line with the buckets, but if you find yourself, testing either video or text on screen, try and keep your aesthetic and try and keep the content that you're posting relatively familiar to your audience. If you start changing up the kind of content you're doing, that's totally fine. But it goes back to let them know. If you're going to make a change, just let them know. Say, guys, we're trying something different. We're going to try something different. That includes them into your process. And it's so important, because you would not have, if they're not following you or they're not interested, you don't really have much of anything. So it's so important to constantly think about serving your audience as a way to serve yourself. And then another thing I will always say is give back. If you have found yourself a platform, or if you are a company that stands for something, give back, whether it's helping to share information, whether it's donating, whatever it might be. It's so important to make sure that people see that if you stand for something, you also defend it. For example, one of the things that we did was I do a lot for dog rescues. I adopted Noodle. He was an old dog. So senior rescue is very important to me. So every now and then, and I know a lot of people who follow me have rescued senior dogs. So what I will do is every now and then, I'll just post a video where I'll say, I know, I'm in a position right now to do some donations. In the comments of this video, please tag your favorite animal shelter and I will make a donation on your behalf. Everyone wins. Everyone wins, because I've posted a piece of content that firmly establishes that I mean what I say. I've given people an opportunity to contribute to something that is important to them, and I've given access, right? I have acknowledged that I am in this position, which everyone knows, right? Everyone sees that. I am in a position to do good. Do it. Just do it. Promise, just do it. Gary said this one thing. There's another thing I learned in Gary. There's a book that he wrote called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And that's something, and I did that with my left hand. But there's something to keep in mind where if you are going to post a piece of content asking someone to do something, make sure that the few pieces of content you posted previously have all just been valuable to them. And then finally, engage with your audience. Respond to comments. Comments deserve your engagement. If people are coming to you and they're saying stuff about your brand, if they're giving you, if they're saying, oh my gosh, like I didn't know you existed. I'm so glad I learned about, tax codes or whatever it was from you. Let them know how grateful you are to that. That is the transaction. That is a transaction. That's going to get someone to come back to you. If they know that their participation in your content is appreciated, it makes all the difference. And if you ever wonder why, put yourself in their shoes. Like when I comment on a brand account or I comment on someone's account that I love and they respond to me, it makes me feel so validated. And that is just something you can do for free. Identify super fans. If you have people who are constantly active on your page, if you have people who are consistently giving you praises, they're sharing your content, they're liking your content, identify them and thank them and build a relationship with them to whatever degree you're comfortable with. But the more people you have in your corner who really, really believe in what you do, and the more you nurture that, the better off you are. The next thing I'll say is to be authentic. This really works on TikTok, and I think it's starting to become more important on a lot of other platforms too. But there's no secret anymore to how social media works. Everyone knows that if it's a big company posting, it's a social media person. If there's a human behind the post, there is a human behind the post. So be a human. That's something that I've always found to be very important. And then learn from feedback. One of my absolute favorite things about posting on social, and although it's difficult to sometimes get a lot of negative comments on a post, if people are telling you, oh man, like I live in Canada and I wish I could get access to your services. Like, for example, we did a sweepstakes the other day. And it was only US based because there are a lot of legal rules around sweepstakes, but I had no idea how many people in Canada really wanted to enter this sweepstakes. And I got a lot of comments of it. So we immediately took that to our team and we said, can we open something in Canada? And we did. And now all of these people are super happy. And I was able to provide this because I learned from it. And that is, it's just value that you can take from your content. And now, okay, oh my gosh, I got a question for you guys, and I would love for you could drop in the chat. Are you currently on TikTok, or are we doing a poll for this? I think we're doing a poll for this one. But I'd love if you could let me know if you are on TikTok. I'm very curious. Or yeah, put it in the chat. Oh yeah, we got the poll right here. We got the poll right here. Yeah, let us, we really did. I really didn't know coming into this if this was people who were really on the platform and trying to figure out what else to do there, or if they were people really just trying to figure out what TikTok is, because that is very real. That is very real. Oh, Maria, no, you don't suck at it. I know you don't. No, you don't. TikTok is wild, you guys. It's a wild platform. Oh, Thelma, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. Oh, wow. This is very interesting. This is very, very interesting. Okay, I'm very glad to know this. So we have the majority of people on this call, and it's a small majority. It seems like a lot of you are on this platform, but the majority of you are actually not on TikTok, which is, I'm very excited because I really hope this inspires you to get on the platform. Even if you're not ready to start posting on the platform, it's a really fabulous place to be, to get a good idea of what is happening in the world, specifically in a younger demographic, and where media is going. So we are going to go ahead and say, what is TikTok? So TikTok is the fastest growing social media platform in the world that rewards creators, not marketers. So all this graph at the very end of this presentation, I have some links, and you'll get access to this deck after this presentation is over. I have some links that I've shared that are very helpful resources to go to learn more about the platform and things you can do there. But this is a little graph to show you just how big this platform is. They launched in the United States, TikTok launched in Q1 of 2018. So they are very close, if they haven't already, to surpassing Instagram or Facebook for the amount of users that they have. They're certainly capped over 1 billion daily users, and they did it in the course of 4 years. For reference, Facebook was launched in 2005, right? 2005, 2006. Instagram came out in, I think it was 2010. So this is a very young platform that has very clearly shown itself to be incredibly, incredibly potent and powerful in the industry. So now we're going to go over TikTok strategies. So again, these are things that I think there's some bleed over if you are focusing on other social media platforms as well. But this is what I have learned specifically from being on TikTok. And I'm very happy to share it to you now. So we're going to go over these 3 buckets: authenticity over aesthetic, engage, 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 and don't sweat the numbers. I just love. Okay, so we're going to go over authenticity over aesthetic. So these are a couple things to keep in mind when you are on TikTok. So the most important thing I think to remember on TikTok is that this is a platform that is people first. People watching this platform want to make connections with other individuals. At least I do. For those of you on TikTok, I don't know about you, but before I started posting, I was on TikTok for months and I didn't post anything. I just sat there laughing because people are so funny. And I sat there learning because people are so smart, and they're not filming, high quality, high budget, multicam videos to post on this. They're just using their phone and they're sharing what they know. It's a really wonderful app for connecting with people. So I would always say that it is an engagement driven platform. So people want to engage with if you want to be engaging with people's content. If people are engaging with your stuff, that is how TikTok is going to share it with more people. There's no real secret sauce outside of if people are seeing your stuff and they like what they see and they're sharing it and commenting on it, TikTok is going to show that to more people. So going back to best practices, you always want to find the value of the content you're posting and make sure that value is not just serving yourself. Organic content wins on TikTok. There are ways to do paid on TikTok. There's ways to promote posts, which is something that if that is something within the scope of your business, go for it. I have seen success in that, but organic content will succeed on TikTok. Whereas you have other platforms like Instagram and Facebook. And I don't know about you guys, but like you can't post, you can't just start an Instagram account and put up a post and see it go viral. It doesn't work that way. You have to pay so much money on these other platforms to get your content seen. Whereas on TikTok, you can just post. So I would really recommend that you just go for it. TikTok skews very young, so please remember that kids are smart. The majority of people on TikTok, and the demographics are changing rapidly, but the majority of people on TikTok are very, very young, and they know social. They know social, they know how social media is supposed to be done, and they will know if you're trying too hard, which I think is a relief. They will know if you're trying too hard, and I don't think it's going to work for you. So the reason why I think Noodle and I found success is because we really were just doing what we do every day. Like there weren't any bells and whistles to it. I wasn't even showered, which is kind of mortifying to think, but it would just be us doing our thing, and people were able to connect with that. So whenever you're posting something, you're allowed to make it beautiful for sure, but don't be too heavy-handed with it because people will see that. And then again, this is something I won't go over this, but remember, what value does this provide? Constantly ask yourself that question. If it's just serving you, you should rework it. Engage, engage, engage. So I actually work on the engagement team at GoDaddy. I am on the social media marketing team, and I specifically focus on engagement and engagement strategies. And this is the hill I will die on. If you are posting content that people are commenting on and they are saying positive things to you, talk to them. Just please do it. You are building content that people are reacting to, and you are in a position to build those relationships simply by having a conversation with these people. And, regardless of what kind of content you're posting, again, we're going to go back to the finance thing. If you are posting comments about finance, if you're posting videos where you're educating people about, certain, W-2s, or, if you're freelance, here are the things you've got to keep in mind. There will be people commenting and saying, thank you so much. I never would have known that. Or they'll be asking questions. Where can I learn more? That is the opportunity for you to say, let's schedule a breakout session, or here is a resource that I think you would find valuable. That is an opportunity for you. Make sure to participate on the platform. Even if you're not posting content, find other creators in your space who are posting similar things and comment on it. Help boost their content. Help get their content seen by more people. I cannot tell you how, although TikTok is very big, it's very community driven. People are there to see other people succeed. They like seeing other people succeed. I've gotten so much support with everything happening from me and Noodle, and people have been so nice to me about all of it. And it costs me nothing to be nice in return. And all it does is provide value for everyone. So please keep that in mind. Participate on the platform, share other people's content, comment on other people's content. It will come back and serve you in dividends. Not every comment requires a response. Some people who post will just troll you or will say things that are irrelevant. Don't worry, you don't have to respond to every single person. But if you see someone comment something that you think either is very wrong and you want to respond to it, or is something that is very engaging and you want to respond to it, don't limit yourself. But the one thing I would tell you to keep in mind is to remember that kind of goes back to the digital storefront thing. Everyone can see it at all times. So if you've responded to someone and you said something kind of sassy, right? You said something kind of sassy, and a few hours later, you come back and you haven't checked it and you see that that conversation stream has kind of continued, that might not be the best situation to get in. So if you are going to engage in some comments that aren't necessarily the most proactive for your brand, just be ready to monitor it. It's just, check on it every 30 minutes, whatever it might be. That is a very helpful strategy for me. And then last but certainly not least is don't sweat the numbers. And I know this is very rich coming from someone who has spent many days sweating the numbers, but through doing that, I have learned that it's just not worth it. It's not going to help you. The algorithm on TikTok is weird. It's weird. And I have talked to many people who work at TikTok who have had the very same thing. They're like, oh yeah, no, it's like very sophisticated, but it's also just like, it really kind of does have sort of a big brother mind of its own. But it really is very simple in the sense that if people are engaging and liking your content, TikTok will show it to more people. But I can't tell you how many times I've had a video go up and within the first 10 minutes, it was seen by hundreds of thousands of people. And then the next day I posted a video and it was only seen by 50,000 people. And myself would sit here and go, that means I did something wrong. That means it wasn't good enough. And that's just not true. That means you're not factoring in the other things happening on the platform that day. It means that it doesn't necessarily mean anything. You just have to worry about posting consistently. So my big thing is consistency is key. You don't look at the numbers, but recognize if you are just posting on every other day, you're going to build a community. You're going to build a following. TikTok is simply at a place right now where you might not build a huge following right away, but TikTok is in a place right now where if you are active on the platform and you are providing valuable content, you are setting yourself up exclusively for success. And I very, very, very much believe that. And then the last thing I'll say is if you do put up a post with one of your content buckets that you figured out and you see that it's getting traction, right? Whether you see the conversation is something you like, or it's getting a bunch of views for somehow, some way, this video just ended up getting 12,000 views, 15,000 views, lean into it. TikTok it's just like learning from the feedback in your comments. TikTok is telling you this is something people want to see. So feel free to tweak the format, but you will notice there are a lot of creators on this platform, myself included, who found a format that worked for them and they repeat it because that is what people want to see. And then I've got a couple of quick tips on ways to use the platform. So if you are those of you in the TikTok platform, this might make a lot more sense to you. People who haven't used the TikTok platform, there are ways and there are different tools and prompts and things that you can use in TikTok to help make your content a bit more engaging. So for example, there are prompts. TikTok provides prompts. People can ask you questions on TikTok that you can directly respond to right here. So you can have this little question, for example, I got one time that said, what's the best video you posted on TikTok in 2021? And I was able to upload an old video that had nothing to do with Noodle because it was just it was about a water feature I purchased at a flower shop, totally forgot about, and then woke up and saw. And it was really funny. And it was just a really great way to engage with my audience and show these people that I thought this was really funny. That's what that says. Trending sounds are really big on TikTok. There were many singers that go viral. There was a band, not the main characters, that made a song about Noodle, about him having a no bones day. There were 6,700 people have made videos using that sound. So you can go ahead and it's all free for people to use. Like obviously, if you're a huge company and you have a lot of regulations and things, there are different ways to go about it. But if you're just an up and coming creator, that is accessible to you. Look up trending sounds and use them in your posts, even just to get found, because then anyone searching that sound will find your video there. The next thing to do is to use green screen. So there are a lot of filters that are available where you can do little eyes and a mouth on a static object. You can do green screen where you can upload an article. For example, back in October, Noodle was canceled by the Rolling Stones, magazine. And although it was, it wasn't the most fun to read, I couldn't help but think it was hilarious that a major publication canceled a geriatric pug. And we ended up getting almost 12 million views on that video. So this is me telling Rolling Stone that I won. And then the next one is stitches and duets. So I really love this, where you can literally do a side-by-side video with another creator. So if you're on TikTok and you see someone posting about I'm going back to the financial one again. If you see someone posting tips about finance and you don't agree with that, or you're like, no, that's wrong, you can duet them, or you can stitch them, which means their video starts and then it cuts right to yours, where you can then kind of piggyback on that and appropriate their content in a way that works for the platform. So for example, I duet, when they first posted the song about Noodles having a no bones day, I duetted it so that I could give this person credit and more people could see. And again, that just goes back to engagement and being good to your community. Then a couple of just quick tips for how to use it. There are in your activity feed, you can monitor your engagements based on comments, likes, mentions, and tags. This is a Q&A I was talking about earlier with the prompts. And then you can also pin comments and you can reply with a video, which I really like. So if you get a comment that you really love, just like on this slide, you can post that comment and you can create a video responding to it. So again, financial literacy, that is a great tool to go and literally post a video and say, ask me any questions you have about making money. And then you can use one of those to make content. Finally, I have a cheat sheet for you all that I hope you find helpful. We went over these, but I'm just going to run through them quickly. This is one to kind of keep in your back pocket. Post often and don't worry too much about aesthetic. If it looks like a human filmed it, it works. It's enough. Always include captions. Accessibility is key. You will hear from people if you're not being accessible, especially on platforms that skew younger. It's really important. Always engage with comments. You don't have to engage with everyone, but it is so important to show people that you are present on on your page. If they are rewarding you with an engagement, you are obligated to do the same. I vehemently believe that. Content should be relatively short. If you're doing something long form, make sure it's valuable the whole time, right? If it's a tutorial, if you make pottery and you're doing a top-down shot of how you make something, make that as long as you want, as long as it's engaging. Otherwise, keep it kind of short, 15 to 30 seconds. You guys know how quickly people can scroll through things, so you want to catch their attention right away. Use hashtags. I say sparingly. I'll see people use 20 hashtags and I just don't think it works. If your post is not getting traction within 5 hashtags, you need to kind of solidify what you're doing. And then finally, be yourself and ignore the haters. There are people on social media who are literally there to be mean. Their handles are literally, I'm here to be mean, and they only post contradictory things. So be kind to yourself. It's not easy to be a content creator, but you are serving yourself and your community, and that's all you need to keep in mind. And then these are the resources that I would like for you all to access if you so feel at the end of the presentation. These will take you to 2 really great reports that focus specifically on statistics throughout the app and growth. I love this one, Social Media Today. This covers all different social platforms and a lot of industry news. So even if you're curious about what's happening in other spaces, that's a good one. Talk about emerging platforms. And then finally, the TikTok blog. TikTok is very transparent with best practices and things that are working on their platform. So feel free to leverage that. Oh my gosh, we're done. So thank you all. So, and we made it. You know what? I'm only 3 minutes over. So, which is a real feat for me. So thank you all so much for listening to my presentation. I hope you found it very, very valuable. I'm very keen to open this up. I'm going to put this on my screen now. So I'm very keen to open this up to Q&A.
Yes. Yes,
Rachel, yeah, maybe we can drop those links in the chat at any point.
Yeah, Tina, maybe you could, Tina or Elena, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
if
I don't
you
know
could
if
drop those links.
But if there's
Yeah.
any way, that would be great.
Yeah, and then also for everybody who's with us, just know that we'll be sending out Jonathan's recording, the presentation, etc. So you'll get all of this, which is great. And so, Jonathan, we have a lot of really good questions. So
I
we're going
saw
to
it.
take as
Thank you
many as we
so
can.
much.
Yep.
Should
and
I
we're
close
going
out of my presentation?
Sure, that'd be great.
Oh my gosh, he talks fast. Let me tell you, Arnesia, brevity is not a gift I was born.
Oh, that's so funny.
Not a
So
gift I was
hey,
born
Jonathan,
with.
let's start with Heather's. Heather said, my reel on Instagram takes forever, my reels. I'm afraid I'll take forever to come up with TikTok and neglect the rest of social media in my business. Advice?
Sure. So you can upload TikTok videos to your reels. And this is where Instagram is really struggling right now, is they have completely fallen behind TikTok as far as getting people to share their content and engage with their content. So you can put a setting on TikTok that will automatically save your video to your phone after you've posted it. So what I would recommend you do is any reel that you're thinking of, film it and post it on TikTok first, because it also has the auto captions option, which is really, really important. And Instagram does not offer that to my knowledge. They may have just launched it, but it's not as sophisticated as TikTok's. So post the video on TikTok. Apologies for mispronouncing your name. Post it on TikTok. It'll save to your phone. Just upload that to Reels. It's what I've been doing on Noodle's Instagram for the entire time because it's too much. It's too much to try and film content for different platforms. It's obviously if you're posting something on Twitter and it's an image or it's text only, it might not work, but Reels is a total parallel to TikTok. So it makes perfect sense to just use your TikTok video there.
Awesome. Really good advice.
And it's easier to film on TikTok. TikTok also has a really great filming tool where you can hold a button to record, let go of the hold button, and then change the frame and then start right where you end. I use my phone because that's what you do. And then you start right where you left off. So it's really user-friendly to film.
Excellent. Okay, so Prima is asking, how is using TikTok same different for an individual as compared to a business? And Jonathan, I think you know, most of the people that have joined us today have businesses, and so are really, this is a great question to ask.
So I think what's really, and again, this is something that I think is very important on TikTok, is it is human first. So although you don't have to be the center of your TikTok, if you are just launching a TikTok, it's so important to let people know who you are. It's so people, you don't have to say like, this is my whole life story, but if if your business is, for example, if you are a, jewelry maker, if you have a consulting business, like post a TikTok doing a quick bio of who you are. Let people know who you are. Sorry, I have a delivery downstairs. I don't know who it could be. But post a TikTok kind of explaining who you are. And as you film these videos, if you're filming a tutorial video or you're filming a how-to video, include yourself in it. Use your own voiceover, whatever that might be. Make yourself a little bit of this to whatever extent you're comfortable. Like I'm a huge part of my TikTok because I want to be, but there are plenty of videos that's just me narrating what Noodle's doing. And those are a lot less accessible to me, or they feature me a lot less. So I would recommend, especially if you're launching a business, it's very important when you identify your buckets to maybe pick just one bucket where you can be a part of that. So that if people are scrolling through TikTok, and again, this is just something that's native to the platform, they want to know there's a human behind that. If I'm following a brand on TikTok, now I say this for myself, I'm following a brand on TikTok and they are actively making it a point to post on that platform. I want to know who is doing that. I want to know who is doing that. And I don't need to know exactly who they are, but I want to know, like Washington Post, for example, has a fabulous TikTok where they just post these really funny skits with these 3 guys in the newsroom. I don't know who they are, but they talk all about different headlines and it's so engaging. There's another person I follow who makes pottery and she introduces herself by telling stories. So she'll make a piece of pottery over 3 minutes, it'll be different shots of it. And she'll explain a story about how, someone told me to watch this movie and it inspired me to make this piece. And although I don't know anything too personal about her, I've been really brought into this story and I'm learning about who this person is and how I can relate to her, which is what is the most valuable thing about the platform.
That's awesome. And I think that's really true for any business, right? Like, why do people do business with you guys? It's because they relate to you as a person. And of course, you're offering them a service or a product that they really want. Yeah. So that human to human connection is really important. And I think Jonathan is stressing this so much that on TikTok that's really important. Yeah. Okay, let's get to Adam's question. Adam said he likes to share farm beauty and positivity messages with no real business aim. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. This is the thing about TikTok is everyone knows that there is an individual running your account. They know there was someone posting this video. They know there's someone approving this video. If I find out that there's someone who's very good at consulting, and they talk about that, but then they also share with me that they have these hobbies or that this is who this person is. I can't tell you how much more comfortable I would be reaching out to that person or trying to build a relationship with them versus just cold calling someone. Like I have had so many instances where I have seen content creators who have a very specific shtick just all of a sudden just show this other part of them or show this other part of who they are. I'll go back to the pottery person, for example. She makes amazing pottery, but then all of a sudden, a couple of days, she started to talk about how one of her favorite things is to teach pottery. So then she'll go and she'll talk about the different tools that they use. She's not making anything, she's deviating from her content, but she's literally talking about the history of pottery. And that is to go back to buckets. One of her buckets is art and showcasing her work, and another one is education. She may not have listed them out that way, but that's exactly what she's doing. So as long as you fit some of what your business goals are into your content, I say go ahead and share some of your personal stuff. You don't want it to be, again, if you really want to grow a TikTok specifically to be about consulting, maybe don't share as many, farm videos, or if you do, share how that helps you. What does that say about you? What does that say about you? Because I, as a viewer, will be much more interested in the rest of your content, because I'll watch you and I'll go, the farm guy also knows what he's doing with money. That will get my follow.
Yeah, I think that is such a great example. And I really love your pottery example as well, because that woman is in business to sell pottery, right? But your point is that she's an expert in all things pottery. And so she's showcasing that, which then draws people into wanting to buy from her.
Yeah,
so
the same thing with the finance, to have this finance person share education about, taxes and about saving money. But if on the other hand, they also have a bucket that's dedicated to, one is education on finances, but they have another one that's dedicated to, currency exchange, or something about, fun facts about, money across the world, or if this person just like loves stuff, really geeks out about that, that's a really human thing that I want to know.
Yeah. Yep. Great. Hey, so let's take another one. I'm going to go to Sarah's question, because I think a lot of people have this question, Jonathan. If your target market is older than 20 people in their 20s and 30s, is this platform really worth it? And also Sarah was asking, is it free?
Yes. So yes to both of those. So TikTok is free. TikTok is totally free to use. And that's what's really fun about it, is you don't have to boost your content. You can, like TikTok does have paid opportunities. I've never put money behind a video on TikTok. I've never done it. And that's what I think is also really important, is because if you're not putting money behind TikToks, that's how you learn what's working and what's not, because there's nothing to sort of corrupt the numbers or, make you say, okay, well, this video got 30,000 views, but I put money behind it and I didn't love it that much, but this one I loved and it got 10,000 views. Which one was more valuable? I'm going to tell you right now, the one that was more valuable is when you didn't put any money behind, because those 10,000 views came exclusively from people wanting to view your content. I don't want to be served ads on TikTok. I don't want to get ads. If I want to buy something, I will buy it. But the ads that I do see that are really, really fun, or if I see brand accounts that are very clearly having a good time on this platform, it's just awesome to see this content go off without anyone putting any money behind it. Like, these people have just built genuine communities. And that's the other problem I think with putting paid behind stuff, is you might get likes and follows, but they won't be engaged. How many social media accounts have you gone to where you see that this person has 800,000 followers, but they will get 5 comments on a post? Like, that's not what you want for a business. Because what that tells me is that you bought your followers, and especially skewing young, that's tough. Now, I will also say it's worth it because TikTok, although it is the platform that people are most focused on, all of those videos get shared to Instagram and Facebook. Some large meme account, someone will share it on Instagram and Facebook. And I would encourage you as well. If you are making content on TikTok that is a video with captions and is short and sweet, upload that to your Facebook page. Upload that to your Instagram reel. There is a lot of opportunity for cross promotion on these platforms. And you obviously want to make sure that, again, if you're posting on, Facebook and you're not able to get it sized correctly, or I would just say that it is definitely worth it to post on TikTok and share on these platforms, because you never know who is going to see your stuff. And the other thing to keep in mind is that there is a pipeline that we don't even know about of people sharing TikTok content on these other social media platforms, because the secret is these other social media platforms desperately need TikTok's content on there for their own numbers, because people aren't creating on Facebook anymore. There's too much red tape. If anyone from Facebook is watching, there's too much red tape. I have
All right.
thousands of dollars behind a post to get it seen by 100 people. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and people, you guys as business owners who have actually paid for media, I mean, that gets really frustrating when you pay and then you don't get results. So, hey, I'm going to flip to a question from Heather. She said she always scrolls past anything marketing. So how do I market hilarity while turning followers into customers? That
So
is
I
a great
It's a
question.
great question. I think the very first thing that I think you kind of already noted is it's marketing. You've recognized it as this is someone trying to sell me something. This is someone who is the only thing this person wants from me. This is, sorry, this is my phone. I'm making a lot of weird hand gestures, but this is my phone. If you think it's marketing, that person has not done themselves a service, right? Like it's one thing to get a paid ad. It's another thing to just scroll through content and say, this person is just actively trying to sell me something. Like that's all they're trying to do. So what I would recommend is if you are making content that is focused on selling a product, you have to go in with a soft touch. And that's where you don't have to say right off the bat, this product is for sale. This is I just launched this. I'm so excited for you to check it out. That's where I recommend your buckets to be maybe more around education, where again, instead of telling someone that you have new pottery for sale, show them how you made it. Instead of telling someone that you have new financial services available, show them how it's valuable, right? Show them how it's applicable in real life, where you can either make a skit, where you could do a fun video where it's like, you could be two different people where you could have one person who doesn't know, where it's like, I thought I knew what I was doing. You have another person who's trying to explain it. You could do a little skit that way. Like you could do voiceover where you're scrolling through something, that you learned is not true. Like that's another, great format is you could just say, you could start a video with saying, stop what you're doing. I can't believe I just learned this. Or there are so many people who don't know this, I can't believe it. And then you share what you know. So you're not exclusively driving them to buy from you, but you're just going back to providing value outside of a sale, where you are just acknowledging something that they might need to know, right? So if you are acknowledging something that people don't know about, right? If you're saying, there's a huge, you guys might not, if you are all freelancers, this is tax information that you have to know. I'm not saying click my bio to get this information. I'm providing the information on the TikTok, and it is implied that you can talk to me through my bio. You could say that at the end, you can drop it in the comments. But if you want to always be providing value before you do anything else. And that is your marketing.
Yeah, great. And one thing that you're really emphasizing is being authentic and how far that goes. And I love that, because that's the secret sauce of community in general. And Jonathan mentioned this, you're building a community. And if you're authentic, people are going to follow you. If you're not, they are going to sniff that out so quickly and you're not going to get any followers.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to take one last question, because I'm sure everybody is really interested in where is there online training for TikTok? And I think that one of your resources gives that, Jonathan.
Yes.
But
so there's in the TikTok blog that I sent through, there is, because again, launching on a new platform I recognize that it's intimidating. I do recognize that there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to get through. So feel free to test, play around in the platform. That's the first thing I would recommend doing, is download TikTok and just play around in it, see how people use it. But the blog that I attached in the link will also be very, very helpful. And then YouTube, you guys, if you go and you YouTube, how do I use TikTok? There are people there who literally posted tutorials on how to do things from the most simple things to, the most sophisticated transitions. So that information is there. And I use TikTok in a very simple way. I don't use so many of the tools that they offer, simply because I have kind of found that I like to do things a very particular way. But you might like something that's a little more visually stimulating. You might like something that's a little more high end, and you can do that. But there are tons of resources online. So check the TikTok blog, play around on the platform, and then sift around on YouTube. And the last thing I'll say, and this is the caveat for everything, reach out to your communities. Whoever is in your network, whether it's people you've met in the LinkedIn community, which is a great resource, or if it's people who you just have in your life, or it's even your kids or your nieces and nephews, or anyone who might be on TikTok, ask them. It really is a platform dedicated to watching people succeed in a lot of ways. It's really, really small business friendly. There have been so many videos of people. There's literally a trending sound that's a song about people who say my product is too expensive, but you just don't know what goes into making this. And it's just very, very small business friendly. And it's very forgiving to people who are going out on their own to try and launch a career for themselves. People really do want to see you succeed. So put yourself out there and let them know. And I do believe people will come to your aid and to be a part of your community.
Awesome. Jonathan, we are at the top of the hour. Jonathan has actually inspired me. I have a side business. So Jonathan has inspired me to think about, I might be
got it,
starting to try
Rachel.
this. And
You
so
got
we'll
it,
have to
Rachel.
talk.
You've got an eye. You bring something unique to the table, share it with people. Your perspective is what makes you different.
Yeah. All right. So Jonathan, thank you so much. So much great information, some things to think about. Would love to hear more from some of you who have joined today. Join our LinkedIn group. Seriously, you're going to love it. And we had a lot of questions that were asked. We didn't get to all of them. I think what we're going to do is ask Jonathan if maybe he could write answers to it, and we'll put it in the GoDaddy community. So expect to get an email from us in a couple of days with the link to the recording, etc. In our community. Thank you so much. Take care. And hopefully we'll see you next month at our July meetup.
Yes.
Have a
and
good rest of the
LinkedIn
day.
The LinkedIn group is the GoDaddy Small Business Community.
And that's in the chat.
Yes.
Tina just put it in there again.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
take
much,
care.
everyone.
Have a good rest of
Bye.
the day.